What? Yeah, okay, so maybe setting my house on fire wasn't the best idea, but I could not be homeless right now. Phoebe said I couldn't stay at her place because I'm apparently a hazard to their house's safety, whatever that means. Yeah, so I've been here for the last few weeks just vibing until I could find a new place. Rat? I honestly don't even know where I am. Some sort of convention center? I don't even know what it's for. I went to Vidcon 2022, my first ever Vidcon, and I have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. I think I should start off by getting something out of the way quickly. I only recently fell into the FNAF community. The roots of my channel and my personal connections are deeply rooted in the storytime animation community, so that is mainly what we are going to be focusing on today. There wasn't a ton of FNAF stuff at the convention, only some merchandise I found, and I did see someone cosplay as Moondrop, but other than that, this is basically animation focused. Since this was my first VidCon, when I got there, I had no idea what to do or where to go.
Bro, this place looks super empty. This can't be the actual convention. It is a big area though. Okay, so this is the hardest part. I want to draw my guy on here, but I'm worried I'm gonna mess it up. Let me write my name first. Okay, I'm really worried about this, but here we go. It could be better, but it's fine. Okay, it's kind of shitty, but you know what? It works.
I knew what shows I wanted to see that day, but everything wasn't clearly labeled. The stages and booths, it was really weird. I wanted to go watch this particular event early in the morning involving Haminations and Mirichu and Cypher Den. They were doing this competition to draw different popular animated characters in different art styles. However, I couldn't find the stage that they were performing at. I asked some of the staff if they could point me in the right direction, and it didn't help. I don't know how, but the staff did not know where anything was at the convention, at all.
I just received word that I made a big fucking mistake. It's actually outside. Obviously, I should have probably known because it's called the festival stage. Okay, so I guess I'm fucked. I'm looking everywhere, and they're oh, go to aisle D, go to aisle B. It's not there. That's the freaking meet and greet. That entire area is closed. So I don't even know at this point, man. I mean, I might as well check out this area. Oh my god, wait, I think that's it over there. Holy shit.
I eventually found out that the drawing competition was happening outside of the convention building, in its own stage set up a few yards out. I eventually made my way there and ended up meeting some of my friends there, as well as some people I didn't have the privilege of meeting in person before. The first event itself was interesting. All the contestants drew very well, but there were some issues. In order to decide who they were going to draw and in what style, the presenters had a number wheel which chose for them. However, it kept falling on spin again for some reason. It got so bad that Haminations had to hold the wheel on the back himself to get the actual results after they got spinning again 5 times in a row. After that event, we all decided to move towards the next event. We bumped into some more people that we knew, and as a big group, we all attended the Animators vs. Minecrafters panel, or what would have been that event, because it was cancelled. So first off, Jaden was supposed to be at the event, but she got sick so couldn't attend. Then there seemed like there were some sort of technical difficulties with the Minecraft multiplayer game, so I guess they gave up and closed the stage, which was a big letdown because we were standing there for more than half an hour for the event to start.
They freaking canceled Minecraft! I can't believe it! Can you believe this? Oh, god damn. Stood there for an hour.
After that letdown, we were able to just roam the convention as we pleased. The next event we wanted to see was 2 hours from then, so we just enjoyed the booths around the main floor. We stopped by a karaoke booth and met another group of friends shortly after we decided we didn't want to wait 7 hours to go on the human claw machine. We went over to the animator focus section to see the types of stuff that they had for sale, and I ended up getting this Jaden Animations gift bag thing. It came with a new lanyard for my VidCon badge, a pin, some wristbands, a poster, and the part that I was most excited for, an RE Pokemon themed card. I really liked the Pokemon trading card game, and I knew I wanted this card even if it was unofficial. A friend of mine actually pulled a rare version of the card, and I'm so jealous. I'm still happy with my purchase, and that booth was really cool. The other animator booths were cool too. The Odd Ones Out booth had their promos for his new Netflix series coming out soon, and the Haminations booth had a giant cardboard cutout of him there, as well as a wall where you could pin fan art. There was also a Creator Inc. booth nearby, which was kind of like an animator booth since they basically dealt with the merchandise of Something Else YT and Let Me Explain Studios. They had this adorable dog there that was super excited to meet us. We then moved to the first animator Q&A panel of the day, featuring Haminations and Cypher Den again, and Illuminations this time, with Rebecca Ferrum hosting the event. It was really interesting hearing what they had to say about how starting their YouTube journey and how many of them didn't think their life was going to get to this point. I then decided to have lunch, and I actually got extremely lucky for some reason. I wanted some pizza, so I went to the cafeteria to get some. I actually decided to eat very late in the convention, unlike my friends, so like the staff offered me free pizza. That was awesome, but I stopped them after like 2 slices since they essentially were going to drop me a whole pie if I let them clear their stock, and I couldn't eat all that. I then made my way to the Fall Guys booth. Holy shit, it's Fall Guys.
Oh my god!
Fall Guys. Wow, this is cool. Oh, it feels real. Fall Guys in real life.
They were promoting how the game went free to play recently, and they had a really cool set piece. I was informed that in past conventions, sometimes VidCon would have like inflatable courses that you could run, and while that would have been so cool to have for the Fall Guys booth, we had this smaller one instead, unfortunately. Something weird about these Fall Guys props, most of them work. The paddles were really cool, except all but one of them worked, and I tripped over it thinking I could move it, so that was great. I decided to roam the convention with a few of my friends before I realized I missed an event I was planning to attend, the Odd Ones Out commentary show. I missed it because I decided to go with my friends and do a little silly hunting to try and find different content creators we wanted to see. We didn't find any of them, funnily enough, but it still was fun wandering around and theorizing where they could be. After that though, we kind of hit the low point of the event. There was a bit of time where all I did was walk around the convention, not necessarily engaging with anyone or any of the booths. I did stop by some of the video editing sections, but other than that, there was not a ton of stuff that was happening for the next 2 hours. The unfortunate thing was that after a bit, I started getting a headache for some reason. I ran out of water a while back, and I don't think those pizzas helped at all. When the last event I wanted to go to started, I was in too much pain to stick around, which sucked because it was a panel which featured Something Else YT, Ginger Pale, and Circle Tunes. Luckily, I was able to watch the part I missed on YouTube, but I was kind of bummed out I couldn't stay more. I think the reason I couldn't stand around, besides the fact I had a massive headache, was that all of the stages had like bass boosted speakers blasting audio into my ears, and I think it was just too much for me to handle, especially with my headache. There was one more thing I did go to though. Earlier in the day, I was invited to go to a YouTuber party, and I have to say that was probably the highlight of the trip. Getting to the party was kind of a chore. I tried to get a lift there, but no one was coming to pick me up anytime soon, so I had to walk all the way to the party, which was like a 30-minute walk from the convention center. I know that doesn't sound that bad, but like, we were in Anaheim in the summer, and I didn't have any water. Eventually I did make it, and it all worked out. I don't know if I should talk a lot about the event since it was a private party, but I'm going to mention 3 things that happened. First off, I was accidentally given a bracelet to drink alcohol. I was 19 at the time, so I couldn't drink, but the staff just basically gave everyone who had an ID an A-OK with alcohol for some reason. I didn't drink though, I just chewed some ice the whole time, and it did help with my headache. Second, the food there was delectable. delectable. The sliders they had were so good. I'm usually just a guy that likes to have the meat and bun. I know there's a special place in hell for me. But like these burgers had like bacon inside of the patties, which was interesting. It had a sauce that I was actually okay with having. And they also had fried calamari with a spicy pepper on the top. It was just oh. And thirdly, I met a lot of very cool people there, some who were even featured at Vidcon this year. It was super cool to meet all of them and find out that some even knew who I was. Even some of the people I met for the first time were very interesting. I'll reveal one person that I met at the event. Brody Animates. I didn't realize who he was at the time since I didn't know what his face looked like beforehand, but like we talked about college, electric cars, and our plans for our channels. And then I showed them FNAF on the 3DS, so it was just a great time all around. And even some of my local animator friends were there, and I wasn't expecting to see them at all during the trip, so it was really nice to see them as well. Yeah, I had a great time at VidCon. I loved meeting everyone at the convention, and it was a blast. So, wait, why is there so much more to the video? Well, the private party I went to was amazing and definitely the highlight. But the more I look back, the more I realize how mid VidCon was this year. I was on a call with friends after the event and they described how the 10th VidCon in 2019 was so much more involved and feature packed. It made me realize that most of the booths there this year were from sponsors like Amazon and Paramount. The only booths there that were from creators were the animators and the one for Tubbo's Minecraft server. And worst of all, it was really small. Like, remember how I said I was walking around the convention near the end of it? Yeah, well, I walked around the whole convention like 5 times in a span of 10 minutes. It was crazy small. And honestly, hearing how big and grandiose the later years were kinda made me still feel like I missed out a bit. But for what we did get, I was grateful. I got to see my friends, which is always a treat in the field I'm pursuing. And I was glad I was able to go to VidCon at all. Maybe another time we will get a convention as big as the past ones, but all I can do now is wait and watch. Okay, back to FNAF vids. Or, well, when I get a new place.